Software has gotten worse in the last year or two.
Last year or two?
My
Come on.
iPhone always has bugs. Discord always now has bugs. Now Twitter is having constant bugs.
No, it's always
I
getting
don't
worse.
feel it.
It's the but then hardware gets better. This is one of the great paradoxes of software engineering, where because of the rate of increase of hardware, there was this idea that, like, to make your software better, you could either do a bunch of work and probably introduce more bugs, and spend a lot of money, or you could just do nothing and wait for hardware to get better, because that's what was supposed to happen because of, like, Moore's law and everything. But I don't know. I don't think that actually worked that way, and people want more features. But the key, though, Dove, is to remember, and this is something I learned with Genius, formerly Rap Genius. I learned that no matter what you do, everyone hates it. So there's no way. Like, every change we made, people would hate it. And then we'd do another change and they'd hate it. And they'd be, like, nostalgic for the thing that they hated that we first did. So there's like 7 layers of nostalgia all back into terrible things. And that's what happens with the software thing. So, you're part of this golden age paradox military industrial complex.
I'm part of the MIC in more ways than one.
Yes. Oh, it's true. Wow. Sorry, I didn't want to offend you with, like, a casual usage of that phrase. Wow. That's heavy stuff. Well, this I want to be in the intro part, so I'll get it started. Welcome to the Capsule 21 podcast. I am Middlemarch, aka Tom Lehman, and my co-hosts are Dovetail and Piv. We are Capsule 21. The trio Capsule 21 is an art project, an art collective, in fact, dedicated to the celebration of timeless art through blockchain technologies, and also just talking about good technologies on the blockchain. The Capsule 21 podcast is filmed in front of a live Twitter Spaces audience. So if you are listening to me say this, you are in the Twitter Space. If you're listening to this on Spotify or the podcasting platform, you can join us at 5 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday. We're doing a podcast a week for every week for the entire year of 2023, after which we will release a guide that tells you the importance of regular podcasting with the knowledge we have learned. So welcome to everyone, and back to our discussion in progress. Is the concept of the military-industrial complex, what is the status of that concept? Hearing from a subject domain expert, Dovetail, former Marine.
What is the state of the MIC?
Well, I'm saying the status of that concept, because people flippantly, as I did, people flippantly say, like, oh, the military-industrial complex, or the blah, blah, blah industrial complex. Like, making a joke about it. Like, I believe in the first episode of Mad Men, one character, I think it says, like, are you part of the boyfriend-girlfriend industrial complex? Like, trying to ask a girl out.
Right.
Creepy. I don't know why that jumped to mind, but people say stuff like this. What does that mean?
I think if you want to have a good understanding of what it is, you need to read War is a Racket by legendary U.S. Marine Smedley Butler. I know he has it sounds like I'm making a joke with his name. His name is Smedley Butler, not Smelly Butler.
Okay, I need that. We'll edit that out. This is a podcast. We're doing one a week, so we can edit that out. We hear this, yeah.
And yeah, he wrote an essay called War is a Racket when he was a major general. And if you read that, then you will have a good understanding of the MIC from someone who was at the very top of it.
Great, Rex. This is how it feels when I recommend someone read a book. It's like, okay, what? Like, no one wants to hear this.
And it's
so,
like
racket, though. We have the concept of a racket. I forget if we've talked about this here, but racket is a good place to start, because do you know what a racket is? Traditionally, what a racket is defined as?
I don't know.
It's a problem.
Maybe.
It's like someone comes to solve a problem for you that they created, basically. Like, it's a thing that wouldn't need to exist as a solution if it didn't, exist. And so the classic, a protection racket in the mob sense, like, we'll come protect you. Protect you from what? From us, And so it's just a self-begetting thing. It's a war being a racket. not reading the book or going from the title would mean that, war is this thing that kind of just like, it's a broad process and a bunch of mini processes that work to create problems for it to solve, and the solutions create more problems, and it's ad infinitum.
So, okay. This is a good tie-in. The Twitter Hex PFP is a racket.
Because
right?
Good. Tell me more.
They've granted us the Hex PFP, and we've put in all this work to work around it and do all this crazy tech stuff so that we can fit within the bounds of what Twitter deems appropriate for the Hex. And now that we've done all of this, they're going to pull it away.
Right. Now, this is a good point, actually. Yeah, it's creating a but the true racket, right, would be where they don't pull it away because it's benefiting them, right? Where the actual racket, is the Twitter Blue thing, where they basically say, we're selling this new amazing thing called Twitter Blue. It's like, okay, what problems does this solve, or what feature does it give you? Well, it gives you the ability to use Twitter unimpeded. It's like, oh, amazing! This great product. But yes, I think the Hex, I think, does create. But the Hex is the one good thing NFTs ever did, if you really think about it.
Yeah, I think the Hex is like super, like the best thing that Twitter has ever done.
It's amazing.
And yes, so I was saying this before we started the podcast. I think the way that it works is I currently have the legacy Twitter Blue subscription. It charges me $3 a month for the last couple months now. And with the legacy Twitter Blue, you could do Hex NFT PFPs, right? Now they've rolled out Twitter Blue, non-legacy, current version. And if you subscribe to this current version, they've ripped out the Hex functionality. Okay. So the only way that you can currently set a Hex PFP is if you still have an active legacy Hex subscription, the $3 subscription. If you have the $8 or the $11 Twitter Blue subscription, you cannot set a Hex.
All right, let's test the theory. We got Yoke here with a Hex. I believe that's a Hex, right? That is a Hex. Yeah, that is a Milady, of course. Kidding, it's not a Milady. It's some other subset thing. I don't know all the details here. It's not an actual Milady, but Hex, Yoke, if you're out there, how much are you paying per month? Just blink twice if you're paying 11.
Yeah, give a heart if it's $3.
Yeah, and a thumb if it's blink. Yoke, yeah. If you can hear me, blink twice.
I can hear you.
Yes. Okay. What is the how much money are you paying?
I'm paying $8 a month right now.
And you have the Hex.
Yeah, but there's like a new, like I'm probably in like still legacy by.
Did you set the Hex after you switched to the $8 one?
Yeah.
Okay, fascinating. Yeah, it's very confusing. There's no documentation.
So you're on a Droid? Sorry to interrupt. Are you on a Droid right now, Yoke?
No, I haven't used Android since.
So aren't you paying 11 then? How are you paying 8?
My subscription hasn't ended yet for the month.
Oh, right. So that'll be the true test at the end of this month, and we're going to see, okay, who is real.
Yeah, but it reminds me, you've seen people on Twitter with like animated profile pictures. Famously, like the guy who did Nyan Cat. He's got an animated Nyan Cat PFP, and you'll see those around, but it's like very rare. Those people who set their PFP way back in the day when Twitter allowed animated PFPs, and then when they took out the function to let you have a GIF PFP, they didn't remove people who had it. They just let them keep it. So if you see someone with a GIF PFP, that means they have never changed it in probably like 5+ years.
Which is amazing. Of course, they do the same thing for formerly verified. Go ahead.
Sorry, no. No, I just think there was the same thing with the banner. Wasn't there? If you didn't change your banner at some point, it was larger, I think.
Yeah.
It was great, but it was larger.
Right. Yeah, Twitter's
I think.
But the text thing is giving me panic. I was like, I didn't have a hex earlier today. I did not have a hex. Now I changed it to this low effort punk because I got a rare one and I think it looks cool. And I was in a panic because I was like, okay, like if they remove the hex feature, I have to set a good one because this is going to be my PFP forever. So
yeah, that's a good thing to think about. Yeah, if the Titanic goes down, my deck chair will not be in such a good position. It's like, bro, if they get rid of the hex, it's all over. You're not going to care about your PFP. All your money will be gone.
yeah, if Twitter becomes like a lame, like a place that people don't like to hang out and do stuff anymore. Yeah.
I need a good. It's like the whole reason people are doing anything. You know, it's like not that's the whole, but it's a bellwether. It's canary in the coal mine. Plus, it's just cool. That's how people learn about what an NFT is. Like, if you click someone's name, like I'm going to click your name, you go and you see the hex. Okay, view profile photo. It says low for punk, and then you scroll down and it says, what is an NFT? NFT, short for non-fungible tokens, are digital items that you own. It's just, you know, of course, the whole NFT thing. But wait, does Reddit have a hex? What is the Reddit thing? What is the Reddit meme? I know that. By the way, anyone who has a hex out there, you're invited to come up to speak. Just putting it out there. But so the Reddit thing is like the new hex then?
I have no idea what Reddit is doing. I don't think Reddit is ever going to be like a platform in the same way Twitter is. I think that because on Reddit your profile is so much less important. Twitter is all about the profile, so the hex is huge. People really care who you are on Twitter, whereas on Reddit people don't really care who you are.
Plus, it's Polygon.
It's Polygon. Oh yeah. It's not even.
So what is Polygon? Okay, can we be real for a second? Because now, and I don't want to get into current events or like controversial topics or whatever. But Trump famously, some would call it humorously, whatever. There's something with the Trump stuff, and he's putting out an NFT, but it's on Polygon. And you go to OpenSea, and you can see. It seems like you can buy it in ETH. What is Polygon?
This is a good
No
question.
one knows.
No one knows. It's
like literally, what is it?
It's like I just view it as like fake ETH. It's like Monopoly ETH.
But then it's listed in real ETH on the Trump OpenSea page, I think. It's quite confusing to me. So anyway, no one knows what Polygon is. That's a shame. But yeah, I think that we can't get rid of the hex. We have to fight that. What of course, famously the Moonbirds got the on-chain in the hex, and so maybe that was like kind of the the last maybe Moonbirds was kind of like the animated GIF, the last great deck chair movement. But I don't know. I you know what? I'm gonna hex myself right now. I'm gonna do it. What should I do? Which one should I do? All our on-chain stuff doesn't work. It's all garbage. Which come on.
I pick one earlier today, and I just chose this one. I don't know why. I should have just chosen my own art. But when I chose my own art, it gave me the fear. Okay, if I do one of my NFTs as my PFP, and then eventually I sell it, can I retain the hex? I don't know, and I don't want to lose it if that's the case.
Yeah, no, you need a. Which one should I do? The problem is all my good ones, like the Screaming Punk Piv, you know what I'm talking about? Like I'll just look like you then. Like you have really. I got some yoga apes. Okay, I don't know if that's good. What else do I got? I have B3 punks, basically the less. Okay, I'll do this one in honor of. Well, no, I can't do this one. I was going to do the one where it was the 14 color one, but it's too similar to you. You've got to really be. Okay, here we go. Okay, refresh, please. What about this one? Please refresh.
It takes forever. Oh, the CryptoKitty?
Yes, you saw it. A CryptoKitty. I'm shocked that CryptoKitties aren't bigger.
This is very fascinating because, wow, it looks very cool because it has a transparent background, so it really has a cool look.
Yeah, which I actually don't like. Why? Give it the back, it's like what the artist intended here. But yes, I think I'm in dark mode, so it looks like it pops out. I'm not trying light mode. Let's try light mode. But oh, cool! Looks sick in light mode too. Yeah, this is a great PFP. Why aren't CryptoKitties bigger? They
Too
were
many.
Early. They look sick, and there are too many of them.
There's too many, which is related to, if you caught our last podcast, what we're working on right now.
Yes, how to have
every punk.
Full possibilities of everything, but still maximum FOMO, max pain, basically. You know how people say that? We're at max pain.
I think at some point they will come back big, CryptoKitties.
Our project doesn't even come out. Oh, CryptoKitties, yeah. So
just nostalgia, I think. No, they're nowhere, but
well, yeah, I think there's nostalgia, but the number of people who would be nostalgic is very small because it's pretty much only people who are very early. I'm not nostalgic for CryptoKitties because I joined in November of 2021.
Yeah, but they're so cute, Dove. Like, do you have any cats?
I grew up with a cat, but I don't have one now.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what I'm saying. I think without owning a cat, you can't appreciate CryptoKitties. That's why they. And without being a punk, you can't appreciate CryptoPunks.
That's not.
They're actually not punk. They're not punk. Actually,
a lot of CryptoPunk appreciators who are far from punk.
Yeah, you don't have to be cool at all. That's my nightmare.
Shade. People like drama. Okay.
And you have a bag? Are you pumping your bag? What's the disclosure on that speculation?
No, I don't. I have a couple of, but not a bag.
Okay. Still good to disclose. All right.
A couple
we
out
are
of
strict disclosures of when we pump something. Well, I don't want to actually say that we always disclose. It's impossible to always disclose anything you say can have an effect, but like pretty much in this case, there it is.
Our combined follower count is not enough where people are going to be upset at us for.
Hey, it just happened. I think the $100 million. But yeah, I think they'd come back. I mean, you can breed them. They were actually kind of too ahead of their time. Like CryptoPunks was like, lol, like just do a simpler thing in every way, make a lot more money, save the rainforest. Whereas CryptoKitties was much more of a mechanic-driven thing, as I understand it, because of the breeding aspect.
Yeah,
of course,
game. But I think the problem with CryptoKitties is that they didn't focus on being a good PFP. And even like we're in 2023. Okay, I mean there's we're in 2023. And still the PFP reigns supreme. No one wants any other kind of NFT. Everyone just wants a PFP. And that is why the hex is so important. And I think if Twitter gets rid of this hex, they're gonna realize quickly how that was a mistake.
Hex was so good. Yeah, I think. Well, what about there's art blocks, but yeah, I think it is. Yeah, But the thing is, if you actually have cats, you know that you should not breed them unless you really know what you're doing. So that I think might have hurt the CryptoKitties legacy because it's not realistic in that way. Or maybe it was like a fantasy, basically, like every cat owner's fantasy.
That's
Who
weird.
knows?
No, that's weird.
Every cat owner's wildest fantasy, breeding. I don't know. Whatever. I miss my cats. I'm in New York City. I went to a New York museum for the first time ever today. I lived here for 15 years. Never went to a museum.
Which one did you
once? Go? I went to the Whitney, aka the $25 place. $25. Can you believe that?
I can't.
And for what? Literally for what?
It's because the employees don't get paid enough.
Who doesn't get paid?
The employees.
Yeah. No. Well, the Met is free, I think, still. I've never been. I will never go for that reason. No, not for that reason. But it was cool. It was a Hopper exhibit. Hopper is basically like a cross between Norman Rockwell and Andy Warhol, basically. This is from a guy who knows nothing about art history, but he was an illustrator, just like Warhol. He made some money doing that. And to me, it's just like you go to the art place. First of all the paintings are behind glass anyway. because they're so nervous about like soup. I literally made the soup joke. It was great. Like the guy was like, "Don't touch the paintings." I'm like, "And soup is fine," and like I got a chuckle from like some of the people around me, but they're so scared of soup. The paintings are behind glass. Okay, so already they're mediated, and then they're basically the size of my computer monitor anyway. Like, no shade, I have a very big computer monitor, and so why not just look at them on your computer monitor? Really, like I think if you're looking at large scale stuff, you know, it's one thing, but like if it's the size of a computer monitor, it's behind glass.
This is like
$25.
to hear.
Sorry.
I'll look at everything digitally.
I mean, you already are. It's behind glass. I can see a reflection from the sky.
No, because then how do you see the brush strokes?
Yeah, up the res. I don't know. I mean, it was fine, but really, what I found myself thinking. And by the way, you don't actually know it's the real art, obviously. If you think that's all the seriously, if you think that's all the real art,
Oh, you do. My
Don't.
friend works in a museum. They take painstaking care to know that they have real art.
I mean, that's, you know, it's like, oh, what random person is going to be able to distinguish it? And then it's like you have, you know, you don't know that, and so ultimately it's the context, and you know, you get these little cards. They're fine, but yeah, I want to be sucked in. I want to hear Pib's explanation of all these things. Pib, what do you know about Hopper?
You should have gotten a guided tour.
Not so much, but I know the Whitney Museum. That it's a building from Breuer.
Ah, now that's good. The museum itself being,
so it's like a ziggurat kind of shape, no? It goes out in concrete, and Breuer was one of the architects who fled the Nazi regime in Germany, like Gropius.
Bauhaus dude, then. Gropius Bauhaus.
Indeed. Yeah.
And it's kind of like a ziggurat.
Mies van der Rohe went also, but he wasn't really. He was more following the pack, but he was quite friendly with the regime.
With the Nazis.
With the Nazis, yes.
Yeah, so he was, but then,
but still, he went.
Still, he came over.
I read something very.
He came over and he made a couple of big buildings there. Yeah. But for him, it was not really necessary to flee. No, but the building is nice. I think a concrete building.
Yeah, there's like a little thing. It's like a deck out of the top kind of thing. I feel like there's a nice like little restaurant thing. Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool building. There's a huge elevator in there. Nice gift shop. You can buy like a felt hat, just like Hopper wore, and a self-portrait. It's like they really go in. It's like $350. But no, it's a great museum. They got a nice permanent collection. They got some Warhol stuff in there. So, you know, all in all, if we're gonna go to one museum ever in your life, you could do a lot worse.
Did you never go to the new museum?
Never. No, never.
And do you know what
I wasted my life. I've walked past it. It says like the new museum on it. It's like in the downtown area. I would like to go to the new museum. I actually saw Dove. So take that, people who think I never see anyone. I should tweet this actually. We favorite park doxed.
Oh, I thought you did tweet it. I was like, man, you didn't.
I never do anything. It's terrible. Okay, so I'm gonna tweet it. I'm gonna write. Okay, I'm effing doing it here. Okay, because you couldn't decide which one you liked and blah blah blah.
Well, that's true.
I couldn't decide which one I liked. Okay, which one did we say we liked? Okay, yeah, this is some dead air here. Okay. So basically, Dove and I went to Prospect Park, and we walked around. It was pretty cool. And I'm going to say, like, at Dovetail. Do I do it with the dot at? I'll just do.
Yes, always do dot at.
Me and Dovetail favorite park doxing at Prospect Park.
There you go.
Prospect
That's
Park.
a very like
zoo
early Twitter type tweet. Back when Twitter was new, people would just like tweet about their day. How's your day going? Is basically the Twitter genre.
Right. I'm not doing like a point of view tweet here, like, you know, F, you know, I can't even say any typical thing you'd see. I don't want to be, but yeah, I'm not taking it. Should I say like F,
Park all day.
Yeah, long live. I could say like F you, like, okay, I tweeted it. I effing did it. I did it. Yeah. Okay, put it in the nest. Put it in the nest. Hurry.
Oh, you got to put it. Okay. Anyway,
you're the.
I saw this interesting YouTube video the other day. There was this Nazi era artist. He was like a German artist in the 30s, and he was like a surrealist. He painted a kind of like abstract, kind of surreal kind of works, but he was like a Nazi, right? If you know anything about the way the Nazis had a relationship with art, is that they viewed all non-figurative painting or paintings of non-traditional life as degenerate. And they had this big exhibition where they hosted a bunch of what they deemed degenerate art, and basically they invited people in. The government did, as basically a way to say like, hey, like, come look at this stuff. We're gonna laugh at it. You can see how stupid all these people are making this degenerate, disgusting art. It doesn't even look like anything, etc., etc. And they were going to burn all of it after the exhibit, right? So you had all this surreal and abstract art in one building, and they burned it because they really hated that stuff. And but there was this artist, and I forget his name. Let me try to find it while I'm telling the story. And he was a Nazi, but he painted abstract art. His name was Emil Nolde, Emilnolde. And he was a pretty celebrated artist in Germany. People liked him. He was like selling his works for a lot. He was like in good regards with like a lot of military and like government people. But his art got censored. He thought that because he held the party beliefs and he was like with the party, that would spare him from being lumped in with all these degenerate artists, even though he was doing the same style of art as they were, and he ended up being prosecuted for that. And
you thought it would spare him? Is that a pun on the famous Nazi architect Albert Speer?
Good one. No, but good one. No, yeah, but he thought he could he thought he could do whatever he wanted, get away with it because
it's a bit it's a little bit the same story with Mies van der Rohe. I think he was like really a modern architect, and there are pictures of his architecture with big Nazi flags, but I think the regime much more liked Speer than because he was more classical than the architecture of Mies van der Rohe.
Right.
It sounds a bit like the same story.
Yeah, I think people have maybe a kind of feeling that like when there's these kinds of like shifts in like society, that they'll get away with being like one of the good ones. And at the end of the day, like they use these artists and then they turn their backs on them. I thought that was crazy. So there's a good YouTube video on it. It's called Lessons from a Nazi Artist. And I recommend watching that. The person who did the video, they have a YouTube channel called The Canvas. I'm gonna pump their bags because I think that their channel is really good. If you're into art history stuff like that, that's a good channel.
Very interesting. Yeah. So Mies. Yeah, it's crazy to think about Mies and Speer as like rivals or contemporaries. I can recommend, in terms of like Nazi stuff, which is like, when I was younger, I was much more. You can read my favorite like Nazi thing is from Speer because he was like this architect guy, but then he became like a big war guy, armaments. He wrote this book that was like And he was like the one guy who at the end did not get the death penalty. He basically got to, be in jail for 20 years and be free because he was like repentant or whatever. And he wrote a book called Inside the Third Reich, where it's like the insiders look at like all the mundane shit everyone was talking, mundane stuff everyone was talking about all the time while we're on the subject of Nazi stuff. One thing that did actually, while on the subject, that did actually strike me as rather interesting in the Whitney was I went for the Hopper thing, and then I went to the permanent exhibition, and there was one Warhol thing that they put up, and basically it was this work of his called Before and After, which is one of like 4 things. I read the card, and it basically shows like before getting a nose job and after getting a nose job, and like part of this was kind of like, okay, like Warhol's own thing with body image, and that's a whole thing, but like, if you look at like the before, the pre-nose job one, you're kind of like, is that like kind of a caricature? And then if you look at the actual magazine article or the ad that it was based on, it like looks a little less kind of like of a caricature. And so I was just thinking, the one Warhol thing you have here, but it was big format, which I think really works for the for the sort of museum display. But I was sort of like, all right, Whitney, what are you getting at with this stuff? But let's see. Yeah. So what everyone can see now, it's in the nest. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone out there? What it's like to be Dovetail?
Yeah, I'm doing a stupid little hand pose to show off Prospect Park.
Yeah, that was
I kind of look photoshopped into it. I kind of look like
blink twice if you're really in it. No, you look good. We're both sort of matching tone, good tone match and everything. And yeah, it's really all you need to know. Like, that's near where I used to live. If anyone, I'm leaving tomorrow. Can't wait to get out of here. But if anyone out there wants to, tell me what you really think about me, I'm staying at the Ace Hotel. Oof, wish I hadn't said that. I won't tell you which Ace Hotel. It's one of the good ones.
That's fun.
And yeah, come by. Like, I don't know, like 4 people listening to this. I'll be gone tomorrow. So, or 4,000 people in the podcast context. What's up? What's going on? Mad Yak, what do you got? How's life?
Mad Yak.
Actually, Mad Yak said he couldn't talk.
Yeah, he's running a powerful drill.
What? That's not a big deal, Mad Yak. You don't have to stress it too much. Just talk to us, whatever. Let it go. Let the drill do the. God, I think this cat is so cute. But of course, you can't actually see the hacks. It really is.
Very rare occasions.
Ashton Kutcher.
Should we talk a little bit more about the new thing, or are we stealth mode?
Yeah, please just do not spend any ETH right now. No, we're not in stealth mode, but we don't want to fall into the classic cognitive thing of like doing something and then thinking you're done with it just because you talked about it. You've heard of this meme?
No, I think it's like inspiring when people know what you're doing. Then you feel a little more encouraged to complete it, because it's like, oh, now everyone's like waiting. Everyone's like anticipating it.
All right, so you pitch it then. You know what's the deal.
Well, we talked about it last week. We are creating a collection of, how many is it? What's the correct number? 31 million? 28 million?
So here's marketing 101. Forget the what, Dove, and talk about the why. Why are we doing this? Forget even what it is. Why?
We are doing this because Capsule 21 has done a lot of punk projects. It's the end of the year. Capsule 21 has been around almost a year. 6 months, 8 months. It's been a long time.
It's a year. Call it a year. In marketing, it's a year.
Okay, we've done a year, circa 2022. Now 2023. It's been a year. We kind of felt that we should cap things off. Can I get a laugh track? A little sign?
Yes. Yeah, so basically capping off, fulfilling our our destiny. But then why is that good for the user?
It's good for the user because this is the I said in the chat earlier, I think that this is our most highly produced, high effort thing that we've done yet. And it's it's the biggest. I sound like Donald Trump. It's the biggest.
It's great.
High effort. It's the best. It's the best thing we've done. I think it might be the best thing we've done. It's very good. I'm very excited about it. We're doing, a little website update. I think that is going to blow people's socks off. I think our current website is very good. It's very functional.
We're not. All right, let me just be clear here. We're doing a new website for this. I don't know about bringing all the old stuff over. It's a lot of work, but maybe. Why am I for marketing? Yes, marketing. Yeah, we're gonna bring everything over. It is so hard to do a website. We got Kenobi out there. He knows what I'm talking about. Like literally, like you use you have a website and then it just stops working, and just keeping something even alive. But there's gonna be a new website. Maybe we'll bring the other stuff over. There's gonna be good content. Go, keep going. It's. I'm just fixing this bug for BenBit and
new website. Incredibly good branding, courtesy of me. I think it's incredibly good. I've done like a little bit of branding stuff for different things. I did the V3 Funk branding. Okay, I did the Cyberfunk branding. I did the Yunk branding. I've done like a couple of things here and there. What I've done here, I think, is the best. I feel very strongly about it. And I'm really excited to share it. We have a name for it that's a little better than we've had like some names in the past. They're usually kind of like descriptive. We have Cyberfunk. Okay, it's like very descriptive. What is it? We have Yunks. Okay, Yun, Punks. Okay, Default Punks. We usually go very descriptive. We're doing a little bit more stylized. And I think I don't know. I can't wait to be done with it and show people. I'm excited. I'm doing the web design today. Looking at it on my computer right now. I've chosen some very good fonts. Okay, my designers listening. You know how hard it is to choose a good font. I think I've got.
What's your process, Dub? What's your process?
The process is that you just build. You have to get something out, right? Like when you're writing, like you have to just put something on the paper, and then you can tweak it after. So I always just get something out, and then I just, I go through. I got a good font collection on my computer, and I just put different stuff in, and I try to think about the mood, try to match it. It has to be legible. Has to be stylistic. I put in like a lot of times I'll go to the most boring fonts possible, which I think are Microsoft Sans Serif and Roboto. That's Microsoft's default font and Google's default font, and they're like the most boring.
But I feel like Microsoft now has like Calibri or something like this. Isn't there something like this?
Different. They do different stuff. Microsoft uses a lot of fonts.
But they don't use Sans. Sans was like from. I mean, I think Sans is cool for this reason. Sans is sort of more old. No.
What do you mean? I don't know what Sans is.
Microsoft Sans. Anyway, go on. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but no, the fonts are good. Should we talk about the mint mechanic, or is that too much inside baseball?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, let's see if anyone see if we can pull Mad Yak away from the drill. This is my dream.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a Bootman here?
Yeah, we got the whole crew.
Oh man.
We are going to be taking a page out of the Nouns book. Okay, when you're doing a collection with 30 million, there's 30 million NFTs collection. 30 million. That's who the hell wants 30 million NFTs? I have 1,000 NFTs in my wallet, and it's a pain in the ass. My computer crashes every time I look at my OpenSea. Okay, it's really bad. So people don't want to have a lot of NFTs, but there's 30 million of them. So how do you solve this problem, right? How do you solve that? And the way that you solve it is by keeping the supply low. And how do you keep the supply low? But by taking a page out of the Nouns book and doing a daily mint, one a day. Okay, subject to change. Currently, it's one a day. And I think that is exciting. It's gonna feel very. I think like if you're the person who gets to mint, you're gonna feel very. It's gonna be like exciting because then you're gonna look at all these punks and you have exclusive access to picking the one that you want. And I think that that'll be a really cool experience. Nouns has their thing where it's, Nouns has the thing where like there's no such thing as rarity. Like you just kind of get the one that you want, but you don't get to like pick it, right? You just get what you get. Okay, you get what is available that day. But we have like more things available. So this is kind of like a way of like bridging the Rider Rip Sport API Club and the nouns. We're going to give you lots of options while taking the nouns formula of like one a day, which is like a totally new way to do it. This is not a random mint. We're trying not to do a random mint. We want it to be, the buyer has a little bit of freedom in what they choose. Because, if there's every punk, there's like a strong desire to be like, okay, I want the one that like I want to use as my PFP, not just like the one that happens to be available. And also when you want a PFP, like you want one that, okay, let's like not play around. When you pick a PFP, you want one that's valuable, right? Okay, like everyone likes the cheap NFT that they love, but when you really like get down to brass tacks, everyone wants like a PFP that's like good, right?
So isn't everyone just going to go for the aliens though, Doug? Doug? Did I call you Doug?
Doug.
Excuse me. But you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is if you go for the alien and then the next 5 people go for an alien, there's still only 5 aliens. But I think really most people don't want an alien if the alien is equally as rare as an ape.
Right. There's no such thing.
Zombie. There's no rarity at all.
As rarity. There's no such thing as rarity. You are truly in a world of... So it's really fungible in a way. It's just like... it's like... Whew.
Yes, it's definitely like a very fungible collection. But I think that's good because I think it really democratizes, you don't have to like do like a random mint process and like pray that you get a rare. Like whatever is going to be rare because there isn't going to be very many of them at all. And I'm excited about that.
And so this other thing we had was the theme concept. Or go ahead, Pip.
No, I just wanted to say that so people will look at them as for what they look like and not for the rarity.
Yeah,
probably.
Precisely. I think that's a really cool part of it too. My favorite, if I had to choose the one that I think is best looking, it's not a zombie, ape, or alien. It's like a human. To be like, that's my that's what I like. So that's what I would have, especially in a world where rarity didn't matter.
But there still is rarity because 0 traits. There are fewer things with 0. By the number of traits is always
the 0 trait is really the grail because there will ever be 7 of them, I think.
No, because this is excluding the original set, right? So how many?
Oh, that's fascinating.
How many are in the original set? I don't remember. There's 8 in the original set.
There's like really only zombie, ape, alien, and I think like two or 3 human ones that are not in the OG collection. So that's
I think all the human ones are in the OG. No, aren't there 8 0 traits?
Maybe. Yeah. So the alien 0 trait, that's really the rarest thing you could possibly get.
That's nice. So yeah, I'll be keeping that one, and then we can have other people do what they want. What about the
dev mint on that?
yeah. Use the old dev mint on that. Bloop, right into my pockets. The it's gonna feel great in the pocket. What about this question of the
hex side? Talk about the hex. Talk about the hex.
I can't. The hex is very scary to me. What would it look like to have an on-chain thing for the first time ever after the what's it called? After the birds one, to do it for the punks one, and that is my dream and my task. So you will be able to have a custom punk, and even saying these words, right? Like, even to you nerds, it's like, like. To me, it's amazing. This is all I want. I don't know if anyone would really get there because when Dub and I were first talking about cyberfunks. It was like, do we do the hex? Fuck it there. What do we do with this? And then we adopted a very petulant attitude, which was basically to embrace the no hex and say that it was good not to have the hex. And then everyone complained about this constantly. Where can I get the screenshot? Everything. So, finally, maybe we can reverse this petulant, willful trend of not doing the hex for on-chain collections, because Moonbirds really did it. And if I can just get all the details right, it will be good. So anyone who is interested in this fairly niche question, but it's actually not that niche. But I don't see any hexes out there. Like, where's a Bootman? A Bootman, can you please speak up on this matter? Where's your hex?
I just stole this picture from Polly.
What is that picture? Is that Ken Jennings?
That's an excellent. Lots of people say it's Hasbulla, but I think Ken Jennings is closer. But I actually even saved the picture and meant to, like, on my computer, meant to do a Google reverse image search, but I never got around to it.
What? You never got around to it? You're that busy? You can't do this important thing?
Oh man, I'm putting in like 15 hours of work a week.
Why? But you have such a good sense of humor.
I'm really pushing the limits. I'm a busy guy.
What is your job and credit card number?
Vocation is doing like land development for big batteries, which is good.
Like Tesla batteries.
Yeah. So it's like,
right.
it's basically like working through the permitting and stuff to then flip the project to someone who will actually go and actually buy the batteries and install them and run them and all that.
Very cool. Very cool. Can you give any hints? Like what part of judging from your accent, you're in America?
California. Yeah. When are you guys coming? I saw your little Prospect Park matching outfits pictures. It was very adorable.
Doxing as hating California. No, I like California. It's
on the record.
It's great.
Matching.
What was that?
I said on the record, the matching outfits is unintentional.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not even that matching. It's just colors. Like, we're both super sick artists who are under the age of 30, and so that's what happens.
Fucking badass dudes out doing badass shit.
It just lines up.
Badass clothes.
So what about the hex, though, Steve? Because
the hex. I think I was looking the other day, like when it first came out, I paid for Twitter Blue and then like would do some hexes, and then I like dropped Twitter Blue and I could still do the hex, but now when I look, it seems that I'm unable to hex.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes.
I told you. Thank you for.
What are you paying for?
Dying.
I mean, I'm being metaphorical. Like, what are you fucking paying? You can't hex. What do you know? But seriously,
wait,
what are you?
No. I stopped paying. So like, I stopped paying, and for a while, I was still able to hex even without paying. But now they have revoked my hexing authorities.
Yeah. Well, if you're not paying,
Elon found me out.
I tried to go to Soho House. And they just threw me out on the street. It's like, are you a member? Are you paying? Oh, no, I'm not paying. But it's like, bro, like, what do you think's going to happen?
The principle of the matter here.
Yeah. So Soho House just treats me like, they kick me out.
They treat me like I'm some random guy.
Just a random guy. And it's like, dude, like, I just want to be able to use the club for free. And I'm not paying, but it's fine. Yeah, so I think in general in life, you can't complain too much about that. But
no, I can't. I certainly can't complain, but I'm also, I would say I don't feel sufficiently motivated to pay just to be able to hex.
Are you a Cyberfunks holder? Do you hold our iconic funk collection?
Indeed, I am.
What else do you own of Capsule 21? Do you own Default Punks?
Do I own any other? Was Yunks done through that?
Hell yeah. So you own Yunks. Okay, well, I was trying to pick one that is hexable, but if cyberpunks or yunks were hexable in the Twitter hex, that would mean nothing to you. Is that basically the idea?
I mean, it is the primary benefit that I have seen from the hex is that you basically it says if you're trying to promote the project that is in your thing, you don't necessarily have to tag the project in like your shit posts. If someone likes your shit and they see that you're hexed, they can just click on your picture and see what that project is all about.
Boom. Agreed.
Yes, agreed. Okay, so it's good just for an owner of a project, not an owner, but like a creator as they're called, or an artist even. If you just want to like have a project that you just like it's out there, yeah, why not have it be in your hex? Because that way you can look at it like,
have more hyperlinks back to your project essentially.
Okay, so you're into it. So and that's maybe good for everyone, just to have everyone be able to. Okay, so yeah, so you like the hex, and so you are you familiar at all with the whole Moonbirds thing? Like, I just want to know, how much does a totally normal person know about this world of caring about any of this boring shit? Like, you're totally normal. Pretend you're totally normal. Do you know about the Moonbirds thing?
I know they like went CC0. Is that what we're talking about? Or I have no idea what.
So basically, they went on chain, and I don't know the exact mechanics of how they did that with the existing tokens, but they did a thing that would allow them to render all of the Moonbirds art exactly pixel perfect to the off-chain version, and it was on-chain, and it was hexable, and it was the first time anyone ever done that, although not actually the first time as these things go, of course, but the first like meme time someone had done it. Yeah. And that was like interesting and revolutionary, depending on how into this stupid stuff you are.
On chain and hexable, and done as a post mint retrofit.
Right.
Interesting. Are CryptoPunks? Are they on chain and hexable?
Welcome to this project. This project is basically not putting the originals and doing it with the originals, which would be annoying, but also much easier and probably cool too. And maybe that would be just good to say, like, low effort, like, rip on that. Maybe I should do that too. We should do that too. But the project here is every punk. So, all the 30 million punks on chain and hexable is basically the concept. But yeah, the Moonbirds thing.
There are 30 million punks and derivatives and such?
It depends your view on the zombie green eyeshadow, if that's what you're getting at. Like, is that valid? And it's that,
Wait,
it's not valid.
When you say 30 million punks, is that there's of all the different derivatives or all the possible permutations of traits?
Possible permutations. But after this, there will be 30 million plus N total punk NFTs in existence.
But it's actually, I mean, there's a lot of iterations. First of all, there's the famous green eyeshadow thing, which looks terrible on a zombie and is, strictly speaking, valid, but Piv says is too otherworldly, basically. But then there's also this notion of of hidden traits. I should do a tweet about this. So hidden traits, right, where like if you have a hoodie, you can't see
under
the
a beard and so or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. The smile under the beard. Yeah. So there's 500 and change, like 550 maybe even punks in the original CryptoPunks collection, the V2s, the V1, whatever, the original ones. There's about 550 that have hidden traits, which is not good. And so in our version, hidden traits are not going to be allowed, and so that will also reduce the number of.
Do you count the earrings where they like modify, where they change the silhouette of the like black pixels? Does that count as hidden?
I don't know. Is that hidden, or can you see that? Is that hidden? I don't know. No, it's of course we count it. It's not hidden.
Snarky. I want to hear from. I don't want to call you out, but we got Mentalist in the listeners.
I'm sorry I was so snarky, Steve. I'm just, I'm playing the character of the guy who's like super obsessed with the punks. And
wait, what was the answer to that?
The answer is those are counted as real. Those aren't hidden from our standpoint.
Okay.
Sorry, I went too crazy.
Take on the hex. I know, like, Mentalist, big NFT collector. Suspiciously, no hex. What's going on there? Maybe not in one of the countries where hexes are available. Isn't that weird too? There's like a lot of countries where you can't even hex your PFP.
I did not know there was
Blue.
geographic discrimination.
Yeah,
Well, it's a
Twitter
dox.
Blue.
You hex your PFP or insta dox. People show up
Right.
at your door. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know where you are.
Anyway, not to put you on the spot, but if you'd like to come up and talk about hexes, talk about how you view the hex, it'd be cool.
But so while we're waiting for that, just finishing things off here with so another thing that happened with the Moonbirds thing, by the way, was they all the haters were like, "Oh, Moonbirds is going to go on chain. Like they could have done that so easily." Blah blah blah. I'm a hater. Then it's like they did something kind of cool. But anyway, here's the concept: is every punk you can choose the punk that you want. You get a mint pass in quotes. It's going to have lore, so it's not going to be some nerd thing or be nerdier or whatever. You get the mint pass. You can mint 1 mint pass a day. You can choose the punk. There's lore. You know, what does this make you? You know, what does this bring to life in your mind?
You are providing the lore, or people can like.
We are
like
providing the lore.
There's like a wiki where people can upload their own lore. Like, what are we
No,
talking?
we are providing lore. Not it's not a friggin' novel, okay? But there'll be
It's
They're
a
doing
novel.
30
it'll be fun
million
little.
30 million lores.
There's overarching lore.
No, not for each punk.
Okay.
Storytelling NFTs. Do you know what this mean? Like, I don't like to talk about things and whatever, but like, there's this thing called like Jenkins the Ballet or whatever, and it's just like storytelling thing. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it, but it's funny. It's
Yeah,
funny
the
stuff there.
storytelling NFTs that only ever was like a joke in Twitter. I never actually encountered a storytelling NFT.
No, but that's what
in a
the
while.
Jenkins thing is. It really is taking earnestly doing that in a way that's just like unbelievably hilarious to me. And you know, look, I believe you never should hate on anything, and so they're trying to do something and whatever. I'm not trying to but it is.
The whole Bored Ape thing.
Zabala.
The whole Bored Ape thing, I had to come to terms with my own hater attitude and integrate
this
that.
isn't Bored Apes. This is a new universe. This is Azur Bala universe, so you don't have to worry about that baggage. It happens to be a Bored Ape thing, and then the guy's making that facial expression in every single moment of his life. It's I mean, I'm sorry, but it's like he's doing this very specific facial expression every single
In every situation he's in.
In every situation, he's always doing this. Like so if you think about like dramatization and like the sort of way in which like, you know, character stuff works in like situations, it's like it's a big, in my opinion, handicap to write a literature thing where the character always has the same exact expression at all times. That's like a huge,
art is
challenging thing.
Yeah, art is about the limitations.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Okay, so it's all the normal challenges of writing a thing, and then also the same facial expression. Yeah,
but no,
anyway, it's funny.
This is not a storytelling NFT, but there are fun lore bits because it's fun. It's a little bit, we didn't want to call it every punk. Okay, kind of boring, kind of like too descriptive.
I did want to call it that actually.
We're going a little fun with it. It's gonna be freaking cool. You guys better like it, or I'm gonna be fucking sad.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We're
so it's not
we're prepared to get sad.
If you don't support it, you're basically saying I want Dovetail to cry and be upset. So
and not be able to pay his expensive New York rent. That's what I'm going for.
I'm paying some amount of money every month that I don't want to say, but it's too much for anyone in the world, and I gotta pay rent. So I don't want to cry. Okay, that's
There's no crying in New York City, that kind of thing. Like
I was walking today home from I went out to lunch at this Korean place. I was walking back with my friend, and we walked past two women who were just sobbing at each other as they were walking. They were just walking and crying. They weren't saying anything. And I thought that was very strange.
That's the human experience right there.
Yeah,
What were they crying
world
about?
of NFTs.
Have you guys connected with Skullcat? And I would be curious just to see statistics on like what custom funk
generation took place with his little website.
Yeah, what is that? I've used his site. I have not really totally.
It's cool. It's Build-A-Bear, but with funks.
Right.
Skullcat? What is the site called?
I
The Skullcat.
I think
don't
it's
remember what the site's
funks.net.
called.
It's funks.net.
Let's see if.
But
Here
I
we go.
wonder like what percentage of all the custom ones that got created were aliens.
I know that I've never created an alien on his website, but I've created humans, and I've created hooded zombies, but
Oh.
I've never done an ape or an alien. I really think the ape and the alien aren't that good. I think that, all things considered, they're kind of ugly looking.
Oh, I recently posted one of my favorite funk that I own, along with the alien version of it. I'll post that up to the thread or the nest right now.
Wow, the alien with the Mohawk Dark kind of looks cool, no?
The interesting thing with this collection is that once they're on OpenSea, and there's, I don't know, however many, like, let's say a month goes by and 30 people have decided to use their past the mint one, it'll kind of have like a weird artificial rarity. Like if you only ever looked at OpenSea and never look at the website that it'll all be hosted on, it'll seem like there is rarity, and OpenSea will try to apply rarity scores to it. Even though it really won't apply in any way, which is kind of fascinating. I'm just excited. I think that we're doing this in I know everyone kind of has this feeling, but I feel like it's like a totally new way for a collection to mint and a collection to do its.
It is, and like the emergent sort of properties, of rarity along the way, and like how does the existing infrastructure of OpenSea or whatever, Twitter and hexing, and how does that all interact with this potential 30 million?
Right. And no one's ever done a one a day pick your own. So that's going to be like a new thing. Honestly, it's nouns but better, if I can be real.
Boom! You heard
I'd
it
settle
here.
for just nouns. I mean, they've been pretty successful. 50 million. So should we add the theme? Tell me about the theme. Tell Steve. Steve is like the everyman right now. He's not exactly the everyman, but he's not so. What about the themes?
The themes of
Dove, tell him.
Oh, you're not asking me. Okay,
No.
good.
I'm asking Dove to ask you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have this concept that when you go to mint one, you won't see all of the 30 million, right? Because that would be very, very overwhelming.
Sounds like a
have
lot.
to like look at 30 million and then pick one. Like, how the hell are you gonna pick one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is that every week or every 2 weeks or like whatever, I don't think we've like landed on like a concrete timetable, but every let's just say a week, there will be a new quote unquote like theme. So like this week, the only ones that you can mint are ones that have Weldon goggles and orange side, and the next week you can only mint ones that have that are zombies wearing hoodies. So we can choose these little things. And so that way you have like a smaller number of them to like look at and really like get a feel for. You can look at like a smaller number of total things and kind of get like a better grasp on what they are. If you don't like that theme, let's say that you have a mint pass and you're like, oh, but for me, like, I don't want a female punk and all of the ones.
Yeah, I don't want a female with the ass eater beard.
Right. Well, that wouldn't be possible, but yeah. So then you could wait until next week too. But the idea is that we'll kind of be like showcasing certain combinations or certain types as a way to kind of like highlight.
Would you have editorial control over what themes and when?
This is a good question that we're kind of like debating right now.
I think you should, to be able to time it with like, it's I don't know, the anniversary of the U.S. fighting the Barbary pirates, so eye patches and
smart.
because the thought that I had was like, okay, on Christmas, I think we should do red noses for Rudolph. Like that's
Nice.
a goofy. Like I think that's fun.
Yep.
Topical. But then if you're doing that, isn't there a conflict there where it's like, okay, I have this quote unquote mint pass plus lore for free lore, and I'm thinking, do I want to mint now or do I want to wait? And so, isn't there, if you're doing fun themes, isn't the idea that you have one pass to use kind of in conflict because you can't really participate in any of these fun themes? You should just wait for the perfect thing, wait for the alien. Should you like
Wait,
get
people only get one mint pass?
right? This is the
Like,
question. The
How
idea
does-
would be every day there is one mint pass that is auctioned, or that's the current thing we're playing with here. But this is why we're asking the everyman, you.
Oh, I was thinking that it's like everybody can, like, every day there's, whether it's a different theme every day or every week or however sort of the frequency works is whatever, but whenever that happens there's a certain theme that is set, and then it's sort of a race amongst everyone that is bidding to see who mints out the coolest combination within that theme, and so then there's some sort of competition aspect to it, but each one can only be minted once, and yeah, and I don't know what the costs are on your guys' end to implement all this, but I would think having people be able to keep participating versus saving
could participate.
saving your
participate as many
one.
times as you wanted, as long as you had, you could own multiple, mint passes. I
Right.
don't like calling them mint passes because it's so lame to say mint pass. They'll have a cooler name. Okay.
Sure. But all intents and purposes, it is a
Right.
It's a lore called lore pass. So it's like if there are 10 days that have passed, that means that 10 of these things will have been either claimed if no one bids or sold if someone bids on them, and that's the number of things there will be. And then you can participate in any theme that you want, or you can hold out for a new theme. That's better. But you only get to do it once. So you're not going to be, because it's kind of fun, the idea of I get to do Christmas and then I get to do the other thing and Rudolph. But really, I guess it's whatever. Maybe people will hoard it. We see what they maybe we airdrop a pass to.
Definitely. You got to airdrop to all your loyal Cyberpunk holders, and
just cyber, not Youngs though. No, maybe Youngs. Maybe no one. Maybe no one is the other thing. No promises on the airdrops. I should have said that.
Yes. My expectations are sky high.
Don't say that word.
You get one airdrop, and then if you want more, then you got to pay for it. And
so one a day. Themes go. God, maybe you should be able to do Well, anyway, this is just.
And then you could have set themes, and you could create a whole. You could mark some on the calendar, and maybe you wouldn't put the oh, this is Alien Day, because then people would just wait for it because they're boring.
Well, I don't think they would wait for it because you might not even want an alien.
Right.
You want an alien, Dove, please.
I don't want an alien.
I would be personally aiming for eye patch pirate themes.
Okay. I like the Barbary pirate reference, by the way. That's very 1700s United States Marine Corps. I can.
That's right.
That. Oh, the Marines were involved in that too.
Oh yeah, the Marines. The first thing we ever did was fight the pirates.
Jeez Louise, that's nice.
Oh yeah, that's where the Marine Corps cut its teeth. The Marine Corps is
that
older
Tunisia,
than the United States. Did you know that the Marine Corps is older than the United States? 1775.
I love that.
Wow, barely. Sorry, no, I shouldn't say that. Yes. But that's very good. So the Navy, I've never understood this. So Army, okay, and the Navy, Air Force, right? They all have their own separate playing field. The Marines seem to do a bunch of different ones. What's the deal?
It's because the Marines, every branch needs the Marine Corps.
So
The
they
Marines
kinda
just do everything first.
Establish the beachhead.
Right. The Marines go in first and like establish. Basically, not to be crude, but this is the Marine Corps way. They go in and kill everything, and then the Army moves in behind the Marine Corps, who's already killed everything, and then the Army sets up nice little bases and maintains order. But the Marine Corps is like the one who like really does like the harsh, like the
Warfare.
crazy, the warfare. And
What
the
about
Army
air superiority?
Air superiority is done by the Air Force. Because air superiority
and the Navy, they got carriers.
Of course, the Navy has a lot of people don't know this. The Navy has more aircraft than the Air Force does.
Right. Which is wild.
But which has the more like, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think I thought of this because I was going to this like little island place in New York City on the west side. You should go to this, Dub. It's like this pretty sweet like little island thing they put there. It's like a new like fancy expensive thing.
That's like expensive.
You're like, wow, cool. Like this is like New York's cool. I saw this plane flying above with this huge radar disc on it. I was like, wow, like there's a whole world of this kind of thing. So I don't understand that much. But yeah, the Barbary reference I think is good. And then you also famously have a gold chain thing.
Indeed.
What about Gold Chain Pirate Day?
That's what I'm talking about.
You can mint as much as you want. No one else can mint anything. That could be a nice day. On the exact anniversary of the Barbary Pirate thing.
Yeah. This Steve Abootman gets to mint everything that he wants and no one else gets to mint anything on gold.
No, I'm saying with chain, gold chain plus pirate thing for that one day only. But you're not allowed to work at your job. You're working too hard. You need to take a break and mint all day. This is like your dream. You're about to wake up. This is like your dream. You're dreaming right now. Just mint the pirate gold chain all day. This is amazing. No one can mint anything.
Boom.
Yeah, boom. Yeah, boom. And then it's cut to you in your bed, like saying boom. You know how like people
I'm minting so hard.
I'm minting so much. This is it. And then you wake up and you're like, well, it's just a dream, just a beautiful dream. But yeah. So we did the mint pass. Okay, so yeah, this is I think a good concept. We just need to finish it. I mean. That's the other not glamorous part of this thing is that just, it ends up being a lot of work. And that's the annoying thing. We've really been working on this for a while.
Everything good takes a long time. Right now I'm working on this painting. I am on hour 34 of working on this painting. Can you believe that? And it's not even done. I've been working on the same painting for 34 hours. It's not even done.
Wow.
What in the world?
Well, I mean, how long did, Rembrandt spend on the Night Watch?
That's true. But the thing is, when you're painting a long time, you don't even know if it's going to be good. You just have to keep doing it. And I was like, I don't know if it's going to be nice or not.
Well, you're never going to know, I mean, what about, artists who were, I sometimes ask Chat AI for this, like artists who were hated in their own time, but loved in the future.
Right. I mean, most artists, well, I shouldn't say most. I don't know the numbers, but there are some artists who don't sell anything until after they die, which
Van Gogh never sold a painting.
Yeah.
Classic.
Sold a failure.
Classic.
So I am doing better than
really
Van
true?
Gogh.
Like never sold a
Van
painting.
Gogh.
I mean, and then you have Drift. Sold a lot. So what is the logic there? But no,
Drifter has had an insane run. I can't believe the success of Where My Fans Go. I think it's a good collect. I like those photographs. If you like those photographs, you should look up on YouTube. This guy, his name is Mustang_Wanted, and he's this Russian guy who used to do parkour on top of construction cranes. And
the whole thing seems super Russian.
Yeah, I mean, people have been doing the drift thing for a long time, but what drift has that Mustang Wanted does not have is an incredible story. Drift's story is actually very good. I think a lot of people, they like the redemptive arc that he's had.
Plus, it's New York effing city. Like, Dub, you of all people should know this. Like, if you're not doing this in New York, you're at a huge disadvantage, in my opinion. New York is like Hamilton and Annie Hall,
Oh wow! Don't talk to me about Hamilton. Is the worst piece of
I
media.
knew
that's
you would
ever-
say that. Don't hate. That was a litmus test. Don't hate. No matter
Alexander
what.
Hamilton was my favorite founding father, but I still say the play is like reactionary garbage dressed up
Yeah,
as.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, not my favorite guy. I think he's a little weird. I think he's a weird little guy. I'm going to say it on record.
He loved Genius. Hamilton was big for Genius, and if you actually listen to the songs, there's like a lot of cute references, which is important. And for the most part, history is incredibly boring, at least rendered most of the time. So I think Hamilton. But there are corny aspects to it.
I did see it. I did go and see it.
Yeah, you saw it. He's got your money. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? You have to be pure if you're going to hate. No, actually, it's better to see it and then to form your own judgments. But you've already paid. No, I saw it. I actually saw it twice.
Look at you.
But I was a guest, so it was the second time I was someone's guest. But I liked it. I think whatever. But then everyone goes through this. You love it, you hate it. Many people don't love it. But anyway, my point being that people know when they look at Drifter's photographs, that's the city where Hamilton.
I don't think a single person in the world has connected Drifter shoots to the play.
Wow. Look at those lights. Somewhere in those lights, they're doing Hamilton. That's what people think, dude. You don't know what people are like. Somewhere out there in that sea of lights,
there's a kid who's really making it for the first time, having their big break.
Alexander
I think people
Hamilton.
like that kind of redemptive story. I mean, like Drifter Shoots had the redemptive arc, and then So I think it's cool. I am extremely bitter because I bought 2 of the open edition and it went down. So I do have this like massive chip on my shoulder, but you can't really worry about these kind of things too much.
Open editions have been under heated debate this week. I notice a lot of people poo-pooing open editions. I've done 1, and I sold 2 of them. So
one to me, I think.
Yeah, 1 to you and 1 to Yunkadelic, who I haven't seen around.
Yunkadelic.
Yeah, I can't believe someone named themselves Yunkadelic after that launch. I mean, we didn't even sell out, but props. I love it.
Whoa! We are going to sell out.
No, but we haven't yet. I think we should. I think Yunks is the best punk collection yet, prior to this new one. Of course, I think that.
Have you had any? How much has Grant? Have you and Grant discussed colors and stuff? Seems like he owes you an audience.
No. Yun has been excellent. Yun has retweeted so many of my things. He has linked to the OpenSea on many occasions, without being prompted to by me.
He's a good guy. I feel like you guys.
He's not a good guy. He just likes He's a rational guy who likes an amazing project. No, sorry. No, he's a very good guy. I kid. No,
he's a good person.
I agree.
I was amazed that he responded to my DMs before we launched the project. I wanted to get his his approval. I didn't want to launch it without him being aware and whatever.
Does he know you live in New York now and that he should hit you up next time he comes through?
No, I should DM him again. I haven't talked to him much. I'm always weary when that kind of stuff happens. I'm I hope you don't just think I'm a punk guy. I hope you don't lump me in as just a guy who makes derivative punk. You know what I mean? Not great. I think that we're doing a great thing here,
but you're big on
it's the language of pop art, dude. It's not called being a punk. When you make a punk, that's called saying oh, am I just a Campbell's soup guy? You know what I mean? It's not. It's the whole point is that it's you have to kind of look at it. You know what I mean? And it's pop art. Viv?
Yeah, I agree. But I don't know how he views me. I don't know if he doesn't think that I. Whatever. I'm being insecure.
This Campbell soup thing. You see what I'm saying, Pim? Come on, Pim. You see what I'm saying? It's not about the punk thing. It's more about treating punks as whatever.
It's the ubiquitous, the
being able to play with the ubiquitous water that we're swimming in.
Exactly. It's the punks are and of course famously we did this thing and Pip did it first, the Marilyn Monroe. Like the new Marilyn Monroe is that punk. It's like if you wanted to have a Marilyn Monroe of crypto, it would be a punk. But it's like, who is Marilyn Monroe? It's not like necessarily a person. It's like it's an iconic, thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I just think the punks are just so effing good for art like this kind of thing,
They are pretty good.
So tell Yoon, you have to tell him now that you are just about punks.
I
That's the big
think
one. Do it.
I think NFT NYC is happening earlier this year than it did last year, which is exciting. I need to really try this year to link up with as many people as I can. I think that'll be epic.
No one is as big of a punk guy though as Mr. B Leo.
This is true. B Leo, big. Your hex is empty. Is it
Yeah,
not loaded?
finally I saw that you unblock me. Like it was like probably the first account then block me on Twitter.
Oh, me?
Yeah, I'm kind of proud.
At one point, I had 500 people blocked on Twitter because at one point I was getting like I was becoming mentally ill from time spent on Twitter.
Yes.
So if I saw someone do anything that I disagreed with, I would block them. And the numbers got really high. And then I was like, why is no one on Twitter? And then I realized that I had everyone blocked. But
No, it's fine.
everyone is
I get
unblocked.
it, guys.
No
we
hard
all
feelings.
punks. And it's fine. Like it's like 3 months, then I'm like DM like Middlemarch and it's stealing my ideas. But it's fine because that's the reason why I DM me. Because like I don't want to work with you. I just want to give you to work. Like just work, man. Build. Come on, we need more punks.
We're building
working
all
on
the
it. I'm working.
At literally every punk we will make. We've made every punk.
You heard it here.
Not everyone.
No, every one. Every single punk. We made it.
I personally
But you
don't
did not
block.
make-
I'm a very good record on the blocking thing. The only thing I've blocked is I saw this ad on Twitter where it was like about removing something from your ear. I don't know if anyone's seen this sort of ad, but anyway.
Oh man, that was so bad for like a month. I had that.
That
shit.
I blocked. I was like, okay, I have to break my streak on that. So if you see it and you consider yourself, hey, I'm not the kind of guy who blocks anything. Like, look, like I'm like Middlemarch. It's like, okay, you can block that one, but don't block. It's you can just mute or just like don't worry about it too much. Oh my God, are you doxing
So
right
you
now?
guys agree with me? Are you guys agree with me then punks are racist too?
What? I don't know. I haven't thought about that.
I know. No one wants to think about it anymore. It's fine. We all accept whatever it is.
Hey man, it's only my third day out here. I just pinned a tweet. It's a little bit of alpha, a little bit of graphic design from your boy. Okay, pretty cool little thing. Yeah, and the only people who have context for it are here in this spaces right now. So consider yourself blessed.
Essentially, it's a hex. Okay,
Yeah,
it's
essentially
called
it's a bunch of
exegesis.
hexagons. It's like a bunch of hexagons.
The thing is, there's this thing called exegesis, which is when you sort of describe what something is. And it's like this really annoying word, but simple concept. My old company, Genius, used to be called Rap Genius, and before that it was called Rap Exegesis, which was a bad name. But I'm giving some exegesis here. It's a hex. Now, where do the colors come from? This I don't even know, but it's pretty good looking. It's got a kind of what is that T-shirt with the sound wave on it from the band? Kind of reminds me of that. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Joy Division.
Yeah, it's a little Joy Division, no? Or no? Am I tripping right now?
No, I see where you're going with that. Yeah.
So that could be good. But all right, it's 6:30. It's an hour and a half. We've been trying to wind
Man,
these
are you
things
giving
down.
me like a new hex?
We
Is
are.
this like the future hex?
This is a
Yes.
new punk hex thing that is the freshest one. It is every possible punk plus free lore That is On-Chain and Hexable, brought to you for the first time.
Oh, that's exactly my idea. It's fantastic that you work like so amazingly.
It is a yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, it doesn't exist yet. Is it at a breach? Is it possible? I think we're going to find out. And you as a great punk hexer yourself, I think you'll enjoy it. And either way, more spaces to come. This has been the Capsule 21 podcast. This is in front of a live audience every Thursday at 5 p.m. Thank you all for listening. If you're watching on Spotify, you should come to the space where you can talk. And if you talk on a podcast live, you will find that is an enhancer to your career, and you can do that for free here. So please join us next week. This has been Capsule 21. If you're listening to this, you're next.